I wish I could sleep, or even lie sprawled out in my bed, eyes wide open, thinking, remembering, planning things that may prove impossible. But I love you, my dear silent friends, and love, as everyone knows, means sacrifice. So I get out of bed, I get the bucket, and with trip after trip down to the fountain, I give you the gift of another day of life. None of you can move. Your place is here on this terrace, and I, who can move, I take life and give it to you. It's wonderful to see the way you thank me with new scents and new flowers. And you give life yourselves. Just listen to the insects, the festival of buzzing in the air. This is the miracle. Life as it multiplies, dividing itself into 1,000 parts, every one of them in its place, every one of them playing its part. It's a marvelous thing to be able to give life. You become God, and you're God when you take life, too. Ricciardi and Maione, after giving orders to Camarda and Cesarano not to let anyone in or out through the street door, followed the tiny doorman into the courtyard. Along with his diminutive stature, shrill voice, and enormous nose, the way the man walked was ridiculous, too. He took short, bouncy steps, like a series of half-hearted leaps. His oversized uniform billowed on his back, and with every movement his hat slipped to one side or another, only to be straightened with both hands, the tips of his fingers protruding from 2 long sleeves. The courtyard was hardly as vast as those that Ricciardi had seen in other aristocratic palazzi. Then he realized that the space was restricted by a huge flower bed in the middle of it, planted with hydrangeas. Noticing that the policemen were admiring the flowers, Shara said without slowing his pace, "The flowers, eh? He's obsessed, the son of the Duke. That is, the young master is quite fond of them. He insists that we have flowers all year round." Ricciardi took a look around, making a mental note to undertake a more thorough examination of the place later, and noticed 4 large columns, one at each corner of the courtyard. Quite handy. In a pinch they could offer shade and shelter. To an overheated tradesman, for instance, or to a murderer. On a line with the street door, but at the far side of the courtyard, a broad staircase led upstairs. Just inside the entrance, on the right, was a little doorless room containing a small table and a chair. Maione spoke to the doorman. "Is that where you sit when you're on duty?" "Yes, sir, Brigadier. Exactly so. Whenever the street door is open, I sit there without fail." At the foot of the staircase, 2 women were walking toward them. One was enormous, both tall and broad, with a white apron over a light blue smock, hair tied up into a bun behind her head. Her face was pale, with a patch of red on her neck, and she was wringing her hands. There was no mistaking the fact that she was overwrought. The other one, younger, was skinny and angular, and she wore the black work dress of a scullery maid. She was sobbing, dabbing constantly at her eyes with a filthy handkerchief. "This is Signora Concetta, the housekeeper," said Shara, making the introduction by extending his dangling sleeve in the direction of the huge woman. "And this is my wife, Mariuccia, who cleans house." Maione touched his visor. "Brigadier Maione from police headquarters. Commissario Ricciardi, commander of the mobile squad. Concetta, and your last name would be?" The big woman replied in a whisper. She had been instructed always to speak in a low voice in the palazzo, and, overwrought though she might be, she could hardly break the habit. "Concetta Sivo at your service. As Peppino just told you, I'm the housekeeper here in the palazzo. Her Grace the Duchess, I was the one who found her, that is, who saw the deed that had been done. The horrible thing." At the housekeeper's words, the maid burst into another series of hiccuping sobs. Her husband touched her arm as if to support her. Ricciardi broke in. "I'll need all 3 of you to remain on call. Make sure none of you leaves the palazzo for any reason whatever. By the way, are there any other exits besides the street door? Tradesmen's doors, cellars?"
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.